you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And something struck me this morning that I thought I should just do a quick video as kind of a reminder. And it's something you know about, but sometimes you just need to be reminded because you can kind of get caught up in a buying frenzy and end up buying something and it turns out to be a goose egg. And that is, I was on eBay this morning, as I do every morning, looking for radios to review on my shows, and I noticed there were a lot of newer radios used for pretty good starting prices. Like, for instance, this radio here. I reviewed this radio. I got this from Amazon. It's the new Canon multifunction radio, and it cost from Amazon new. It was about $25, and it's got AM, FM, shortwave. It's a amplified speaker. All kinds of functions for $25. Now, what you have to be careful of, and I've run across it many times, well, a few times myself, been pretty lucky, in that these are made in China, and you can find the same radio or whatever it is, whatever device it is, maybe it's a flashlight, it's identical, but it's under different names, it has different brands on it. And they're different prices. Also, you can find a lot on eBay of used ones for super low prices. And the ad will say 100% functional. Well, the problem that I'm going to just touch on, and again, you're totally aware of it, but it just came to mind this morning, so I thought I'd remind you, is that these radios from China, especially these very inexpensive ones, they have a quality control problem. In that, the radios can vary from radio to radio. And you probably have seen me review radios, and I've said it, I don't like the radio for one reason or another. And then you've gone to another website and you see a review and he says, I love the radio. It could be, and sometimes it is, the fact that my particular radio had problems. Even though it's the same model, mine had problems, the other person's didn't have problems, or vice versa. I've seen reviews of this little radio and people don't like them. They said, the sound quality's not very good, it doesn't tune very well. Well, this particular one works fine. So my point is, some of the things you see on eBay, for instance, and even on Amazon, can be, they can have some small problems that could be very annoying, but they could be considered 100% functional. I can't give you a specific example, but I can give you an example that I don't have a real life experience with, and that is the Baofeng radios. I think the Baofeng transceivers, handheld little transceivers, are an excellent buy, but they, like other electronics from China, vary in quality from radio to radio. So someone could get one and starts playing with it and finds out, there's some little quirk about that particular radio. So he says, I want to get rid of this thing. So he puts it on eBay. He advertises it as fully functional. which means all that means is, to my mind, is that the functions work. May not work well, but they work. So you just got to be a little careful. Right now, I'm a little concerned about the Baofeng UV5R that are being dumped on the market. That's almost the original Baofeng transceiver that was very popular. And they made billions of them. I don't know how many they made, but they made a ton of them. And they originally sold for about $49, and then they went down to like $39, and then they went down to like $29. Well, they're now available, brand new, supposedly, for $25. So it kind of makes you wonder, is it just that there's so many new models that have replaced that one that they want to get rid of the old stock, and they're not going to make them anymore? Maybe that's it, which is fine. Here's your chance to get a Baofeng radio. If you go on Amazon right now, Amazon has them for $25.95. I think I paid probably $35 for mine. So in that case, that might be a good deal. And the beauty of getting it from Amazon, if it's through Amazon, meaning they stock it and they sell it, then you get the Amazon warranty, which means, and I've had to do this a couple of times, which means you go on Amazon, you say, I want to return the item, it's got some problem. And they send you an email with a label to put on the box to ship it back for free. And when you go to UPS and they scan it in, gets into the system, within an hour you will have your rebate or your payment back. Now, if they don't get the radio or you send them an empty box, they will take that credit back. So even though the credit's there, you still have to follow up on your end. Let me get my hand out of the way. Gee whiz, I hate when I do that. But my original point was, before I just start babbling, was you have to be a little careful with these radios from China, in that they can have some little quirks, little problems from radio to radio. And I have, I think, about three radio purchases that I made that I had to return because that radio didn't work. For instance, what did I do with it? I'll put out here. This guy right here, not this particular one, but the predecessor to this Grundig Executive Satellite. The Grundig Satellite, this newer one, came out about a year, maybe 2 years ago. Came out in black only. Mine, and if you go back to my shows, you can see mine failed. It actually failed within the first 5 days. The screen display went bonkers and the radio wouldn't work. And I was finally, after a good hour of doing resets, pulling the batteries, all kinds of things, I finally got it to reset. And then I was playing with it and I tried some function, boom, it did the same thing. The microprocessor or microcontroller failed. And it crashed, went into lullaby. Well, Oxford Shortwave Radio Channel has that same radio, and his works perfect. So there you go. There's a case of an expensive radio. I think that one cost me, or it was, the price at the time was about $150, I think. This one is $200. And this one works fine. I still don't like this, mainly because of some minor things in the quality control, which I mentioned in a recent video. The reception is fine. So reception-wise, it works fine. So back to my point. My point is to get my hands out of the camera view. Be careful when you buy radios that are made in China. If it's a super deal, you got to be a little bit worried. But there's always that chance, and of course, that's one thing about buying on eBay. There's always that chance. Now, granted, they have these clauses and things like under PayPal that you're guaranteed, to get a good product, and the seller doesn't return your money, they'll return your money. Well, I've read the stories about that, and it's a real hassle. So don't bank on that. It's a real hassle to get your money back. So just be careful. Like I say, I originally thought about this in doing this show, which I thought was only going to be 5 minutes. When I was going through eBay this morning and saw all these new, supposedly radios, newer models at very good, exceptional prices. So just be careful when you buy those things to kind of check them out. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.